Hello students, here once again. Today we will be discussing the topic of simplification, and this will help you for your RCA 106. So let's start with an example. Let's say that you have to simplify the following expression. 20a minus 5a. Let's think of something that the letter A could represent. Let's say apples, amount of apples. So you have 20 apples minus 5 apples. What is the answer for that? 20 minus 5 is 15 apples. So you write 15A and make sure that your A looks like an A and not like a 9, a D, a G. Make sure that it looks like an A. So this was very simple. You have two quantities of the same thing, 20 apples minus 5 apples. Now let's take a look at example number 2. This one is a little different. You have 20a squared minus 5a. As we can see here, this is not like number 1. The difference here in this second example is that the a has an exponent which is 2, and the other a has an exponent which is an invisible 1. But the problem here is that these two variables are not raised to the same power. A to the second power, a to the first power. Therefore, you cannot simplify this. You cannot combine 20 minus 5 because of the variables are not the same. So this is already simplified, and the answer for this is then 20a squared minus 5a. That is the answer, and since that is the answer, I'll put it inside a box, just like number 1. Now let's take a look at example number 3. We have 5m minus 2m plus 4m. So the first thing you have to ask yourself is, do I have the same variable? Yes, you do. M, M, M. Are all the m's raised to the same power? Yes. M to the first, M to the first, M to the first. Therefore, yes. All m's or all variables are raised to the same power. Therefore, you can simplify them. You can add them and subtract them. So you can say 5, something that starts with an M, M&M, 5 M&Ms minus 2 M&Ms. And then that answer, you add 4 M&Ms. So 5 M&Ms minus 2 M&Ms is 3 M&Ms. And then we bring down the 4M. And then we get 3 plus 47. So my final answer is 7M. Or 7 M&Ms. So 7M is the answer. Let's take a look at example number 4. We have 8n plus 2n minus 3n squared. So we have to ask ourselves, do we have the same variable and is it raised at the same power for every term? Remember, we have 1, 2, 3 terms. We know they're terms because terms are separated by pluses and minuses. So my first term has an n to the first power, second term n to the first power also, but my last term has an n to a different power, second power. Therefore, only my first two terms will be combinable. I can simplify them, but I cannot combine them with this one because it has a different exponent. Alright, so 8n plus 2n happens to be 10n. And then you bring down the take away 3n squared. Like we said earlier, these two terms cannot be combined because this n has a power of 1 and this n has a power of 2. Therefore, we are finished. This is the answer. So whenever you have a problem like number 4, think of this equation as these two terms have the same variable, but this last term doesn't have the same variable. Think of this as 8n plus 2n minus 3, and then since this is not n but this is n squared, think of this as y or z or p. You know, this is completely different than this. Example number 5, m to the third plus m to the second. So I have m with an exponent of 3 and m with an exponent of 2. Do they have the same variable? Do both terms have the same variable? And is the same variable raised to the same power? No, those variables are not raised to the same power. This is raised to the third power, this is raised to the second power. Therefore, you cannot combine them, and that is your answer. That is your answer because you cannot combine them. They are not combinable because they don't have the same power. Here is our last example. 5p minus 1p plus 3d. Let's say 5 pizzas minus 1 pizza. I only have 1p there, so that means there is an invisible 1 right here, plus 3d. And we can think of 3d as 3 dancers. So we have 5 pizzas minus 1 pizza plus 3 dancers. Therefore, only these two terms are combinable. The other one cannot be combined. So 5 pizzas minus 1 pizza happens to be 4 pizzas. And then you bring down the plus 3d. And that's the final answer because you cannot combine these two terms. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Now go ahead and do your RCA 106.